Alright, peace all. Barikama I here of Barikaba Mystics, and yes, just working the lights right now. We are here to do the weekly powra. Yes, doing a weekly now, and yes, we're doing it for this week, which begins on Sol Day, the 5th of January, until Saturday, the 11th of excuse me, January. So we are here, 2020/2012, and this week's main focus is for you, or us, we collectively, to look at what is our driving force. Okay, what is our driving force? Right now we have the moon in Cetus, which is like a cusp. It's a constellation, watery constellation near the Pisces energy. Similarly to Pisces energy, the Cetus actually is the sea monster. Okay, so what is ugly about you? Again, what is your driving force? Is the message I keep getting. To reiterate to you all, is what is your driving force? This week, also on this Saturday, which is the 10th of January, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Gemini. Okay, and we are dealing with the 13 sign sidereal astrology here at Barikaba Mystics. So please do bear that in mind whenever you see anything posted of mine. You may not see it correlate to the mainstream, because a lot of people don't take on the 13th sign, but it is the truth, not facts. So here we go. So again, the week starts on the 5th, and the moon right now is in Cetus. And why we speak about the moon specifically is because the moon governs our emotions, the spirit of our nature, almost like the unseen part of us, and Sol is currently in Sagittarius, and quite freshly in. It's been there since the 19th of December, give or take a few days. And also on the 10th, we have Mercury at a superior conjunction with the Sun. So it's extremely close to the soul. And Mercury right now is in Sagittarius, and on the day it will be close to Saturn. So again, what is your driving force? Because Saturn's all about, you taking heed of your responsibilities. What is your purpose? Are you where you're supposed to be right now? It's the Saturn is known as the cruel to be kind taskmaster or teacher. And 2020 is being seen, dubbed a lot as the master builder year. And me being a master builder myself, I would like to take that on and run with it. But really, it is more about foundation and how you can better build what you already have standing. And as I've put out in the socials recently with the yearly messages, it's about us understanding our spirit nature first, and then seeing how we can move best in the physical. Right, so the main dates to look to this week will be, the first few days is going to be in Cetus and Pisces. Or well, it's actually in Cetus and then it moves into Aries real soon, but there's a conjunction with the Pleiades constellation as well around the 6th. And then on the 10th we have a heavy loaded day, but we have Mercury at superior conjunction with the Sol, and then we have the lunar eclipse and the full moon. Okay, and the lunar eclipse will be visible from Africa, Asia, the Atlantic, Australia, most of Europe, not so much the UK though, and around the Indian Ocean, okay, and North America too. Alright, so the full moon again is in Gemini, okay, and there's not a lot of I was going to say conjunction. No, there's not a lot of aspects within the Gemini full moon. But it being in Gemini already, that it's that duality. It's about us communicating what is really going on, physically and spiritually. We just recently had the Contradicts meteor shower, which also helped us understand our higher and our lower self. The good and the bad and the indifferent of us. Right? What else to mention? I'm just looking through this my calendar here. Right, and on the 11th, the moon is in Cancer. Okay, and it's Let me see here for a minute. And also, yes, Uranus is stationary, about to finish its retrograde stage and back on its normal course. At least it's going to be in its shadow phase, but it will be, in prograde. And this is in Aries right now. So again, what is your driving force, right? Because Aries is that, that number one, that I am. And Uranus is that one that makes you want to, do things differently, do things uniquely, be, that it's like that genius energy where it's just uniquely given to you. And today, actually, me and the children, the word crazy kept coming out. So we had to like figure it out, decipher what the word crazy really means. And we pointed it to being wild, being carefree, but understanding what drives your force, what drives your chi, what drives your energy. Is it high or low? Is it a high vibe or a low vibe? Check it. Right? Okay, let's get some cards. So I've been doing this for since the beginning of my year, which starts, my birthday, but the collective year personally I think starts around the solstice. So since then I've been doing just like some weekly messages for the collective, but it didn't come out, wasn't ready to come out. So now we are here and we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna get 7 cards for each day and maybe clarify with the tarot. I'm using my deck, the Divine Love deck. See what's up. Okay, a few just slipped. Let's see. First, for soul days, check your spirit, don't lose your soul. Beautiful. For moon day, we have respect and revere nature. For Mars day, we have be thy unique highest self. For Mercury day, we have faith without works is void. What was that? That was Mercury. That's Jupiter day. This is time changes, move with the natural cycles. Sol, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, we have you are an abundant being. Yes, Venus always wants to remind us of that. And then Saturn day, we have let your highest self guide. Yes, and Saturn also wants to always remind us of that. And underneath the deck, for the whole overall message is love thyself first and others after. Yes, 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 yes. Another one, spirit first, matter after, and balance both. And we have twin flame here. Okay, so definitely, what is your driving force? Don't let other people guide you. Make sure you are guiding yourself. And yes, we're going to touch on the twin flame thing, because I know I haven't made twin flame videos for a long time. And that's mainly because of the same reason I stopped doing the twin flame readings when I first started my channel, actually, on YouTube. They was getting a lot of hits, but at that time it was a real fad. It became a real fad and a big craze, and there was a lot of karmic energy going on at that time, so the energy was also heavy every time I would tap onto that energy, so I couldn't keep up. It was becoming a bit hectic for me, so I had to stop. And right now I just stopped because the messages became redundant, and and again I just felt like those people were they weren't concentrating on themselves. And I'm here to be the advocate for loving thyself first, taking care of thyself first, because I for a long time have been the opposite of that, always checking for everybody else and making sure everybody else was fine, and then not really taking care of myself and being left to pot, and it's really important that we really check ourselves. And taking care of ourselves is not just that, and very importantly, it's not just the physical aspect, it's firstly the spiritual aspect. As we were saying, what are you thinking, what are you feeling? Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the cards. So check your spirit, don't lose your soul. This is for soul day, which I know the day is dwindling now, but here it is. Check your spirit, don't lose your soul. What does that mean, divine? What does that mean? Top of bottom. What are you working on? You working hard or you working smart? You know, are you being self-sufficient? Are you checking your cycles? You know, are you seeing where you've gone wrong before so you can do better next time, or are you just letting things slide? You know, it's very important, because that's how we learn, that's how we earn blessings, when we check the lessons, why we were there, what did we do to get there, and how did we move away, and how best can we move away before we do, you know, because it's really important to not just move, check why and how, where, when, you know, so then you know how best to next time or not to next time. Okay, and on the moon day we have respect and revere nature, and this card always speaks to me, not just nature outside, always starts within. Everything always starts within. Okay, everything always starts from the unseen. So respect and revere your nature, you know, and like we have the soul day message here, to check your spirit, don't lose your soul. Know that some things in your nature is not so good. Check it. You know, respect the reason for it being there. What is it? Revere the higher vibration of it. Okay, realize the cycles that have come and been and gone, and that you're still going through. So what can we get for respect and revere nature? Working together. And this card's telling me about working with your... No, I don't know. I was going to say naturally working with your spirit guides, but people get spooked when I talk about spirit. And I know there's a lot of people that come on my timeline now, and it's like, this spirit word kind of just makes them feel away. And spirit is energy. Like, your thoughts are a spirit. There's a spirit of joy, there's a spirit of anger, you know, everything is spiritual first, and then it's matter after, and we are to balance both. Okay, so this is talking about you almost like, what's that word, consolidating yourselves, talking and you know, we've been going through the shift where, you know, all ourselves are coming together, or from all dimensions, you know, where we're in a stand in our wholeness, because we are, I was going to say, almost naturally fragmented. In this physical world, when you're fragmented, it's a different thing, but generally we are in different timelines all the time, where we're coexisting in different realities naturally. So we are being asked to consolidate all ourselves, really take time with yourself to check how best you can work with yourself, right? And so on Mars Day, which is that 3 energy, which is that chi energy, again, it reminds me about that driving force. What is your driving force? And the card we have is be that unique higher self. Beautiful as always. You know, once you check yourself on Soul Day, and once you realize who you are, what your nature is really like, you know, always strive to be the best you, because we all here to work on ourselves, you know. But if you align yourself to your higher self, if you always strive to your higher self, life is more bliss-filled. Okay? And actually last week now, I was traveling and I was on the bus. Here's the card. Okay. And someone in the background was talking about what is hell? Do you really think that hell is going to be just like fire? And I really wanted to shout out, hell is fear. And hell is actually wherever you are, you know, just like heaven. Being in a state of hell is being fearful, not being able to do and be who you truly are. That is hell to me personally, and not even just to me personally, collectively. Really, that is the hell, when you fear instead of love, because you know the opposite of love is not hate, it's fear. So when you like roll your eyes at my post about not everybody loves dogs, is because I had a fear for dogs at that time, and I don't fear them anymore. But still, I don't really like petting. I don't like the feel of them sometimes. I don't even like the feel of most animals. I'm just about getting together with a snake, like, and I call myself a naga. You hear that? But yeah, I just find it. I touched the snake, I think last year now, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get. We're gonna get one. Anyway, so be that unique higher self. The card that comes out is the Six of Wands, which is beautiful. This is victory. When you really do align yourself to your higher self, it's victorious. You only do really receive the accolades you deserve when you're on your purpose, basically. You get the true accolades you deserve. The people that will be fighting you back in the day, they will come and be like, oh shit, that's the real, you know? And it's going to be happening. It's going to be revealed more and more so as we move along this year. The first quarter is like a test run still. It's still a recovery. No, I want to say recovery, but almost like the shadow phases of the year past. When we get into the second quarter, that's when things really are fresh, are new. So for Mercury Day, we have here, faith without works is void. And remember, Mercury is that fourth day of the week, and it's all about, our communications. How do you communicate to yourself? How do you communicate with others? Because as much as getting to know ourselves in this life what most of our lessons are, all of our lessons are, is to get to know ourselves, to check ourselves, to realize that we have had past lives, and how can we best align to our highest heights, because that's what makes us most blissful in this life, in this physical dimension. Okay, but then the next thing is how we relate to others. That's why it's important to always realize is to love thyself first and others after. There's a sequel to everything. There's a sequence to everything. There's a process to everything. Like, that's why I always say this thing about the race card. Like, don't be feeling the way when people say to you that black is first. You know that black is what everything is made of. Everything comes from the dark first. That's not to take away from anything or anybody. It's just the process of things. Right? So faith without works is void. What does this card mean? It means like, if you just sit and dwell on things and you don't, active about changing things, then it doesn't mean anything. Things and things and things. Where's the card? Okay, Queen of Wands. This is the leader. You have to take charge. You have to have the faith that yes, you will succeed, or you will be okay, or you will do what you're supposed to. You fulfill your path in life, but you have to take the steps, right? What's that saying? I said to someone recently, my sister even, that you can take the horse to the water, but you can't force it to drink, something like that. And remembering always that spirit is first and matter is after. How do you communicate to yourself from the day before prior? Hold on, no, from this is it. Mercury Day, right? I was going to say, I thought this was Jupiter, excuse me. So how do you communicate with yourself is really important, because your thoughts, your feelings really do drive you physically. So remember, have the faith, yes, but also do the works, because otherwise it doesn't mean anything. It's just in the abyss. And the abyss, there's good, there's bad, there's indifferent. Ascertain, discern where you want to be. Okay, so Jupiter Day, we have time, changes, move with the natural cycles. Yes, man, don't be stuck, don't be stagnant. Okay, life is ever evolving naturally. Move with it, move like it. The seasonal changes help you denote where to next be. So get to know that. What's the card for this one? Yeah. Do this. Oh, Three of Cups. Yes, rejoice. And this reminds me of the message coming through, like as I mentioned at the beginning about the New Year's, like my birthday's a New Year. The summer, the solstice is the year, the winter solstice is a New Year for me. January 1st is the New Year for me, and the 25th of January this year for the Chinese New Year is a New Year for me. Like celebrate life. Whenever there is a celebration, rejoice in that. I don't typically celebrate Christmas, but I definitely bask in the abundance and the reflective time and the coming together of family and love and just that peace and that sereneness that you can get at times. Usually, because generally that 25th of December is a very spiritual day, because it's very It's the 2-5 is a 7, so that's reflection already, and then the 12 or the actually the it's a 10 energy integration, but also seen collectively as a 12 energy, which is that creation as well, magic, free. Enjoy, communicate again. Don't forget the communications. How do you communicate to yourself, and then now how do you communicate with others, and what do you need to change about that? What needs changing about how you move, your natural cycles, and what have you noticed with the cycles as it moves? What have you noticed change in your life? Take stock and take note of these things, because it helps you understand the next cycle run coming. That's Jupiter. Okay, so Venus Day, you are an abundant being. As I said, yes, Venus is always reminding us of that, because that's where it's at. We are naturally have everything and anything to our disposal. It's just how do we see it? What is our viewpoint on it? How do we go about accessing it? Do you know that you can access it? Do you know how to? Are you finding the tools? Are you finding the keys? Are you opening the doors? Or are you blocking them? Which one is that? Let me get the card for that. The tarot. Shuffle a little. This one here? A and A. Okay. Yeah, so you are an abundant being. In business, in love, in all things. Yep. I see you. And this too. 3. Okay, which one is it? Devil. Okay, the devil is Capricorn energy. It's materialism. It's physical attributes. Okay, so here we go. You are an abundant being. Okay, don't let the world make you feel any otherwise, because it does that. The devil rules this earth plane. Okay, because of materialism, because of the physical things, because this is why the devil rules this plane, because for a long time we've been deluded that there's no such thing as spirit, or because we've been deluded that spirit is a negative thing, or spirit belongs to the devil, or spirit is evil. But spirit is energy, flows. It can be good, bad, or indifferent. It's how you take to it. And so if you understand that spirit flows, then you understand how best to move in this physical world through spirit first. And remember, spirit is energy. Spirit is a form. It can be a thought form. It could be a feeling. It could be, again, an emotion, anger, joy, and all of these things. But if you fear it, you materialize fear, or you materialize lower vibrational spirits, which are all about, remember, in the abyss, in the void, God, that you might see it as I call the infinite one, is all things, good, bad, or indifferent. Everything is here for lessons to be learnt and blessings to be earned. Okay, and we all come in different phases and stages, depending on where, when we graduated from the last lives or the previous lives or the incarnations and such. Okay, so don't forget that you are an abundant being, and don't let the world make you feel otherwise. And that being, remember, abundance is everything. If you want to be abundance in love, if you feel like you haven't got the love you want, or if you feel like you haven't got the money you want, you haven't got the family and all of these things, it's all don't let the world make you feel away because of that. Because I know last year I put a post out on the socials about a lot of the divine partners, like being, not so much divine partners, all light beings, being a bit, either being with family they didn't want to be with, or not having any family at all to be with. And, knowing that time of year, everybody's coming together, don't let that hold you back. Don't let that make you feel small, okay? Because your families are star beings naturally, really. And you are never alone, even when you feel lonely, okay? Your spirit team, your spirit guides, as we will be reminded on the moon day, are always around. Check, talk to them, party with them. I do all the time. Hey, we have a ball. We have so much fun. I'm never alone, and neither are you. So on the Saturn day, when we have the full moon, any more these two, yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, so with the abundant being, not forgetting that, and being in the devil energy, remember also that the world is your oyster, okay? Don't let the world feel bleak to you. You can change your world by changing your mindset, changing your perspective, gaining and expanding your perspective even. And how you do that is, again, by moving with the times, okay? Understanding that whatever's coming to you now is not by accident. If you've been stuck in a rut, if you've been doing things a certain way for a long time, like when new things come to you, check it. Don't ignore it. It doesn't come for you for no reason. Nothing in this world is accidental. Everything is purposely placed for growth. Because remember, we're all out here, different emanations of soul, which is the infinite one, which is the God that some call, to experience life, to get to know the different facets of life. That's why you should never shun somebody that's on the floor. They know better than you. They may even have some lessons for you, and they may even have some similarities to you. Okay, that could have been you in a past life. So be careful, because that could be in your next life if you want to be disrespectful and treating them and making them feel like, all kinds of ways, right? Don't think small, think big. Even if you're just in an infancy of anything, expect it to be grand, and it shall. Expect it to be low, and it shall. Check it. What is your driving force? Don't forget it. Is it your highest vibe or not? Realize it. So, on the Saturn day, we have here, let your higher self guide. Let your higher self guide. Because when you're moving from your higher self, when you're aligned to your higher self, again, everything is more bliss filled. Everything is more blissful. Let's get a card from here. There we go. Let your higher self guide. We have here the Four of Swords. This is about communication, but communicating again to yourself. And this is a meditative state, and communicating to your higher self. How about that? Yes, plain and simple. Communicate to your higher self. Open that door if you haven't as yet. What does that mean? Because now is the time. Now is the time. Okay? If you haven't yet, start really realizing that those instances when you almost foresee things happening, that is your divine state. Reach that more often. And all you have to do is just you asking, just you wanting to be in that state more often. It will bring it closer to you. And again, what do we have here on the Mercury day? Remember, faith without works is void. So you might feel like, yeah, man, that was really good that time when I just knew. Okay, so now you have to continue realizing, how do I get to stay in the know? Is again communicating with your spirit side, communicating to yourself, and that just means that communicating to yourself. Talk to yourself, ask yourself the questions. It's important to always start with self and end with self, and in between you can go and ask other people. And once you are diligent about wanting to know something, your guides will show you through people, situations, synchronicities, and things. yeah. So this week, have a blessed one. Have a bliss-filled one. Remember, you are whole, you know. Twin flame is all about you expanding to your higher self, because your higher self is your twin flame. That's your connection right there. When you are in that kind of connection, like, yeah. And don't forget, spirit is first and matter is after, and we have to balance both. It's not to be lopsided one way or the other. You can't just be all in the spirit, and you can't just be all in the matter. We have to balance both. And remember, it's self first, others thereafter. It's not to negate any people outside of yourself, because that doesn't make sense. You don't live in the world by yourself. But it's definitely not to give to everybody first. You must always take care of number one first, and number one is you. Even as a parent, even as a lover, you are number one. You have to take care of yourself first. Make sure that you're wholehearted in whatever you're doing, and then you can really give the best to others. Because otherwise, you'll be giving half-hearted, and what's the point in that? You know. So yeah, look, underneath the deck we have here, the world is your oyster, baby. Make the decisions.